So my beautiful girls and my handsome boys, welcome back again to your favorite astrology channel, the one and only Jupiter Astrology. And today in this video, we are going to talk about Mars transit. Guys, finally, uh, on like 13th of March, Mars is going to enter into the sign of Gemini, finally after staying in sign of Taurus for around 6 months. It is going to transit into the sign of Gemini. Okay, so today I would like to share the things that can happen due to this transit, especially as you know that Mercury is not a very friendly planet for the Mars. Okay, but there are few things that are we need to take care of, because if you see the sign of Gemini, uh, it represents like the third house. Okay, sign of Gemini is the third house, and Mars is also kind of a significator of third house, because Mars represents courage. Okay, and third house is courage. So basically we will going to see like what will going to happen as per this transit.
I would like to tell you before you move forward, you can directly take consultation from us. We have created a website now. It's so simple. You can go there, link in description and the comment section below. You can just click there and just click of a button, you can just simply purchase directly consultation from us as the instruction are given on the website, and then we will just help you out in the consultation. Okay guys, so for that, links are in comment section and description. You can purchase consultation also.
And I want you guys to watch this full videos, because in this video, if you watch this full video, I also share some remedies for all of you. Okay, that will helpful. Okay, and please watch this full video so that you can understand everything properly. Okay, I will talk about every single different people as per their ascendant. Now Mars is going to be there in the sign of Gemini from around 13th of March to 4th of May. From 13th of March till the around 4th of May, this Mars is going to stay in the sign of Gemini. Okay, so as we already know that Gemini is not a friendly sign for Mars, but since it's like the naturally the third house of your like Kalpurusha Kundli, so definitely we can see this in a way that Mars is going into the sign of courage. Okay, if we see it in a different perspective, so Mars is going into the sign of courage. Okay, you see it in this way. And since third house is like, and the Gemini sign is show like kind of a what you call as parakram in Hindi, and in English we called it as a courage, and that is the karak tattva of Mars. Okay, to show the courage, the fighting spirit of Mars. Mars is also the significator of our younger sibling, drive, energy, passion. All these things are like the Mars. Mars is also our blood. Now if you see like the transit carefully, so you will see that Mars is transiting in the sign of Gemini, and during that transit it is neither Mars is aspecting any planet nor any other planet is aspecting Mars. So Mars is kind of a influence free right now. This transit of Mars is very influence free kind of a transit. So Mars will give result as per its own I would say own taste. Okay, because it's not getting influenced by other planets. So yeah, that is also seen. One thing I would like to add before I move forward, that although it's the sign of parakram, the courage, the Gemini sign as is a third house sign, but still since is this sign of Mars enemy, so maybe we all may experience some I would say some problem, or I can say kind of a little bit of frustrations, or as we feel as if we were pushed, we were pressed by the Mars. So that kind of a thing we could feel. But yeah, there are some good things as well that I will going to discuss in this video. And also I would like to add that this, like, I'm talking as per the sidereal, the Vedic system, not as per the Western system. Okay, just in case I would like to clarify. So yeah, so these rashis and these signs are like whatever I am going to discuss as per Vedic astrology, right? So yeah. So guys, let's first of all talk about the Aries ascendant. Okay, so if you are an Aries ascendant, then what will going to happen, like how it will show impact this transit of Mars in the sign of Gemini, which is going to be there, I think, around 52 days now in the sign of Gemini. So if you are an Aries ascendant, then what will going to happen for you when this transit of Mars happen in the sign of Gemini? If you are an Aries ascendant, Mars is the ruler of your first house, okay, as well as your 8th house, because your Aries sign is fall in the first house and the Scorpio sign fall is in the 8th house. So for you guys, Mars is the ruler of your first house as well as the 8th house. Now as per this transit, Mars is going to sit in the 3rd house, where there is sign of Gemini for you guys. So by sitting in the 3rd house, Mars will aspect your 6th house by its 4th aspect. Also Mars will aspect your 9th house by its 7th aspect. Also Mars will aspect your 10th house by its 8th aspect. Okay, so this is the kind of a theme, or I can say the kind of a map you will see of Mars because of this transit. If you are an Aries ascendant, so Mars is your ascendant lord, so it is one of the most important planet for you guys, you know, because it is your ascendant lord, and ascendant lord is you yourself, the most important planet of your chart. And from around last 6 months it was sitting and kind of a stuck in the sign of Taurus. So maybe it may possible that maybe from last 6 months you guys were feeling very agitated, very frustrated. That could be possible. Maybe you guys want to do something and you were not able to do something. Let's say you want to go somewhere, or you want to start something, or you want to do something and you were planning, but somehow something happening due to which you were stuck and you were not able to do something. So you were feeling agitated, frustrated, like what the hell is going on, why I'm not able to do that. That is because of that Mars that was there in the sign of Taurus from the last 6 months. The good news for you guys is that all this situation, all this scenario is changing now. Now from 13th of March, this Mars is going to transit in your 3rd house in the sign of Gemini. So naturally you will see that there is increase in the sign of increase in your what I can say, your energy, okay, and the desire to do something, okay, and you will naturally feel that yes, now is the time that I can do something. Okay, you were not, now you were not like that much frustrated that you were till now. You will feel better now. Definitely this Mars, by transiting into your 3rd house, what will it going to do is it's going to give you courage. It is going to increase your confidence level so that you can do whatever the hell you wants to. Definitely you will see that your ability to do something, your power, your I can say this what I can say, this ability, this power inside you to do something, to work, will definitely increase because of this Mars. Is going to be you may see that there will be after 13 March there will be lot of I can say dynamic kind of thoughts that will come in your mind, and definitely it may possible that you will work towards those thoughts to convert them into reality. Okay, so maybe lot of thoughts coming in your mind, lot of dynamic thoughts are there, and you are like, I have to do this, and then you just start working towards them. Okay, and to make those thoughts to convert them into reality. So that could also be seen. Now you will notice one thing, that if you notice over here in the screen that Mars, by sitting into the third house, it is aspecting your ninth house by its seventh aspect. At the same time, Mars is also aspecting your 10th house by its eighth aspect. Okay, since you already know Mars has three aspects: fourth aspect, seventh aspect, and 10th aspect. So by its seventh aspect, it is aspecting your ninth house. By its eighth aspect, it is aspecting your 10th house. So since it is aspecting both ninth as well as the 10th house, so it is most likely possible that due to your profession, you need to travel to long distance places. Or it may also possible that if you wants to travel, so now due to something related to your profession, your work, okay, maybe something somehow happened due to which your traveling started. Okay, so if let's say you want to travel and you want to do something related to traveling, so it is most likely possible that now it is going to start, especially the profession or work related travel will definitely going to happen due to this transit of Mars in the sign of Gemini. Now since Mars is aspecting the ninth house, so it may also possible for some particular people, okay, because it also depend upon that what is kind of your life situation, as astrology also depend upon the desh kal patra, which means your country, your timings, and you know all that kind of stuff. So it may also possible for some of you guys who are Aries ascendant, maybe you guys also go for some pilgrimage, for some spiritual travels, or maybe you travel to some spiritual places. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's say for an example, you are a western guy living somewhere in the Europe, and then you, due to some work purposes, you have to visit to India. Okay, and let's say you are a government person, you visit to India, but then you thought let's just travel to Rishikesh, because I heard lot of people said that going to Rishikesh give a lot of peace when you just wake up early and just go there, you know, near the Ganga river, and take bath there and do the some spiritual practices or yoga, etc. It feel really nice, so you go there. So that kind of a situation could also possible, that you are going somewhere for, let's say, business related work, travel is also there, at the same time you also go to some pilgrimage places and you feel really nice there. So that could also possible with this Mars transit. Now since Mars is also aspecting your 10th house, so it may also possible that something somehow happen, that you may also get new opportunities in your career. For like for an example, for some of you guys, maybe you start something new. Let's say you have a company, so maybe you do some kind of update in your software or in your companies. Okay, let's say you try to add new features. Maybe let's say you try to let's say you are doing a job, maybe you get better offer somewhere. Okay, new opportunities maybe you get in your life, in your career. That could also possible with this transit of Mars in the sign of Gemini for your Aries ascendant. One more thing I would like to add, let's say if you are a student, by the way, and you are Aries ascendant, so it may also possible that let's say especially if you are sitting in a competitive exam, because if you can see Mars is also aspecting at the 6th house by its 4th aspect. So it may also possible for if you are a student or anyone who is going to sit in some competitive kind of a field or competitive exam where there's like a competitive exam kind of environment. So in that kind of exams which were like a competitive exam, you might get good results. Okay, or I can say you could get I would say selection or something like that. So that could also possible for the student who are Aries ascendant due to this Mars transit in the sign of Gemini. Now since ninth house also represent our higher studies, masters and PhD and all that kind of stuff, so it may also possible for all of you guys who would like to go for the higher studies, or if you would like to go abroad for the higher studies, it may also possible that now with this transit of Mars, if you are an Aries ascendant, you might get the opportunity to go for higher studies. Even if you want to go to abroad, this Mars can even give you opportunities, or can even open your door to go abroad, or to go at some long distance place, or at least to go at some university for doing your higher education or PhD or whatever you want to. Now, it may also possible for some Aries ascendant people, if let's say till now you have some health issues, which were like, till now you had some health issues which were just carrying. So now with this transit of Mars, maybe those health issues will be gone, or at least you will see good amount of relief in the health issues with this transit of Mars in the sign of Gemini. Okay. If you see the sixth house and 10th house are both somehow connected with your profession, your day-to-day life, your colleagues, all that kind of stuff. So a Mars aspect on the 6th as well as 10th definitely talk about that you will have kind of increment or some kind of growth in your career. We can definitely see with this transit of Mars. Although I would like to add one precaution here. Since Mars is going into the sign of Gemini, which is your third house, okay, and as you know, third house represent our neighbors, third house represent our younger siblings, okay. So if you have like all these things like neighbor and some with neighbors and younger siblings, you need to be a bit careful, because it may possible that because Mars will give you such high energy that maybe someday you start to fight with your younger sibling or with your neighbors, unnecessary argument kind of a thing. So that kind of a situation could also possible, because Mars is also your 8th lord and it is going 8th from 8th by using Bhavat Bhavam concept, because third house fall 8th from 8th, so it is sitting in the third house. So unnecessary conflict try to avoid, okay, with your neighbors, with your younger sibling especially, right? So you need to be careful regarding this matter. So guys, these are some things that you need to be careful, okay, and try to avoid taking some decision in overconfidence, okay. That's also one advice for you. Otherwise, generally this is a good transit for you if you are an Aries ascendant. Okay, so this is all about Aries ascendant. If you want personal consultation, links are given in the description. And now let's talk about the Taurus ascendant. So what will going to happen when this transit of Mars is going to happen in the sign of Gemini for Taurus ascendant? So if you are a Taurus ascendant, for you guys, Gemini sign fall in the second house. So Mars is going to transit in the second house on the 13th of March. So by sitting into the second house, Mars is going to aspect your fifth house by its fourth aspect. At the same time, Mars is also going to aspect at your 8th house by its 7th aspect. At the same time, Mars is also going to aspect on your 9th house by its 8th aspect. You know, as I already told you that Mars has 3 aspect, 4, 7 and 8. So it is going to aspect 5, 8 and 9 houses for Taurus ascendant respectively. Okay, so this transit of Mars in the sign of Gemini for Taurus ascendant, how it is going to influence for you guys, let's see that. Since you know that Mars is the ruler of your 12th house as well as your 7th house if you are a Taurus ascendant, so okay, and it is going to sit in your second house. So first of all, I would like to add one thing, that Mars is not a very good planet, okay, not a very good planet if you are a Taurus ascendant, okay. So this thing you always have to consider, irrespective of where it is going to transit and all that, it is not a very good planet for you, okay. So yeah, because Mars is the ruler of your 12th house, okay, which is kind of a house of expenses, losses, hospitalization, although it's also the house of foreign land nowadays, but still you can't ignore that it is also the house of expenses and all that kind of stuff. At the same time, it is the ruler of 7th house, and if you understand deeply astrology, you also know that the 7th house is also a marka house, okay. So in some case 7th house also give you troubles, right? So that is why, since it doesn't have the rulership of any benefic houses, it only have the rulership of 7th and 12th, so it might not be a very favorable planet for you if you are a Taurus ascendant. Now if you see this planet Mars for you is the ruler of such house. uh, so it is now going to sit in another marka house, because if you again study deeply astrology, second house is also a kind of a marka house. Okay, so now it is going to transit in your second house, which is again a marka house for Taurus ascendant. So now what will going to happen? Now understand it carefully, for if you are a Taurus ascendant, what I am trying to say now. Since second house is also the house of your savings, okay, your overall assets, and 12th house is the house of your losses, expenditure. So when the 12th lord, which is Mars, which is the ruler of your expenditure house, is going to sit in your second house in the transit, which is your savings, assets, and all that kind of stuff. So you need to be very careful. In fact, I would like to add that you need to avoid taking any major financial decision in the next 52 days while Mars is going to transit into the sign of Gemini. Let's say you have no other option. You will say that, hey Jupivan, sorry, but I have to take the decision because I don't have the time. I have the deadline within the next 52 days. I have no other option, but I have to take the decision regarding like a major financial decision regarding some investment or some money to spend someday or something like that. I have no other option. Then what should I do? Then I would say that you need to be extra careful in that case. Okay, anything could happen. Okay, let's say for an example, you are signing a document, just for an example. So be extra careful, read documents more times. If let's say you read till now only 1 or 2 times, read at least 4 to 5 times. Take advice from other people. Okay, take advice from someone who could be expert in that field. Okay, take advice from 3 to 5 different people. Okay, that's what I can advise you. Best is that try to avoid. Okay, and if you can't avoid, then at least take extra precautions. Even if you feel that it's unnecessary, still take it. Okay, because when these planets transit, they are going to put a curtain in front of your eyes. Okay, and you take some foolish you do some foolish things, and you will down the line see the losses. So the good thing is to be extra careful. Okay, and if the best case scenario is try to avoid taking any major financial decision in this time. Okay, any kind of investment and all that kind of stuff in this time is try to avoid that. One thing I would like to advise now, Mars, which is the ruler of your 7th as well as the 12th house, if you are a Taurus ascendant, the Mars, which is the ruler of your 7th and the 12th house, is going to sitting into the second house and aspecting the 5th, 8th and 9th house. Okay, so for all of you who invest in money in stock market, for all of you who play some kind of gambling or some kind of any kind of going to casino or any place where you just invest money, okay, and you will get a lot of money, okay, like the quick money making scheme, any kind of that, you need to avoid that. You need to be extra careful. And even if you are doing that, okay, by using some strategy, then I would recommend do not put all of your eggs in one basket. Okay, do not put all of your eggs in one basket. I hope you understand what I'm just trying to say. Do not just take a major amount of your money and invest in something between this time period for the next at least 52 days. Otherwise you are going to face troubles, okay, with this Mars transit. Advice for Taurus ascendant is that this planet Mars, which is the ruler of your 12th house, it's going to sit into your second house and looking at the 8th house by its 7th aspect. So you need to be extra careful. I'm repeating again, you need to be extra careful regarding your health. Okay, otherwise in some cases for some people it could even give you hospitalization. Okay, so you need to pay extra attention. Why I say that and what do I mean by that when I say extra attention is that, let me give an example. There is a person, I told him to pay extra. He had taken like the physically come to me and taken the consultation, and I told him that you are going to have such a health related problem. It may possible, you need to be extra careful. And he was like, no, it's okay, nothing like that happened, all that, like. And what happened is that that person went to gym and do some, unnecessary overweighting exercise, and the transit was not good. So something happened, bad, regarding his bones and all that. And I already told him to be extra careful. Okay. And even to some extent also told him about that lower back related thing. Okay, that's a different story. Okay, but in a long story short, I would like to tell you that uh, if I say that you need to be extra careful regarding your health, so overall be extra careful. If, let's say, because it's looking at the eighth house also represent kind of a sudden accident or sudden injury or something like that, especially when Mars is there. So let's say even if you are a Taurus ascendant and you go to a gym and you lift a lot of weight, so what I can recommend here is that try to uh, avoid lifting very heavy weights. Okay, because like what could happen even, that let's say you are like, oh my god, I will lift more heavy, and what is going to happen, maybe you lift more than your strength. Okay, and like even over lifting, and then what going to happen, let's say you will have a slip disc, you will have problem in your lower back, you will have some kind of something fall down, and you will have, anything could be possible. So that is what I mean when I say that you need to be extra careful. Okay, so yeah, that's what I would say. And even to some kids who, let's say you are a kid and you are a watching, or even if you are not a kid, you are an adult, and you have this habit of having like bike racing or car racing, or unnecessary taking your bike and just roaming around the roads. And so, and if this transit is going to happen and it's looking in your eighth house for the next 52 days, so when I say you need to be careful, you also need to be careful how you are going to drive your car, how you are going to drive your bike. Okay, so I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. You need to be extra careful, especially regarding your health, when Mars is looking at the eighth house by its seventh aspect. Also, if you live in a place where there is a lot of heat, okay, so maybe try to avoid eating food which has very heat, and even to some extent meat related food, because Mars also represented flesh and meat. If you eat that more, so that also some to some extent aggregate uh, you know that kind of a thing inside your body. So you need to be careful. Also try to be careful what food you are eating and where you are eating, because to some extent it also increases the chances of food poisoning, okay, and creating health issues due to that. Then second house also represent our speech. Okay, so be careful what you are saying. Otherwise, to some people it may also possible that due to your speech, by saying some unnecessary things to someone, you may attract unnecessary conflicts. So be careful regarding that as well if you are a Taurus ascendant. One more thing I would like to advise, if you are a Taurus ascendant, so try to avoid giving money to someone. Let's say you have a friend or you have a relative who is like, hey, my friend, you are my best friend and this and that, hell, please give me money. I need your help and this and that. If you give your money, I'm telling you, you just write it down. Okay, write it down, note it down. If you give this money in the next 52 days around, till the time Mars is going to transit in the second house in the sign of Gemini for you, Taurus ascendant, if you're going to give your money to someone, not only you will not get this money will back, okay, not only you will not get this money back, but also you will have a fight or some kind of argument or some unnecessary violence due to this money. Okay, so if you give this in this amount, if you try to help someone by giving money, so you will notice that first thing happen is that you will not get this money back. Second thing is that due to this money you will have fight, arguments, unnecessary kind of conflict. So that could also possible. So try to avoid giving anyone money in this period of next 52 days. It may also possible that your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, okay, the person you are in relationship with, right now, they may face some kind of troubles. Okay, they need your help. Okay, so you must help them, of course. Okay, but when it comes to money to anyone other than your, the close family member, like your parents and your partner, apart from them, okay, do not give to, you know any friend or relative, because what may happen is that, I'm not against helping someone. I want everyone to help others, but in this time period, if you are a Taurus ascendant, you are going to give money to someone, what is going to happen is that it may possible that due to this transit of Mars in future, he or she will not give you money. At the same time, that person will convert into your enemy due to this transit. So that could also possible. That's why I was saying. Okay, so yeah. So one more thing I would like to advise for the Taurus ascendant: do not take any decision in, let's say you are angry, you are very angry, you're like, what the hell, man, I gonna kill, like, do this to you. Okay, so in the, and you're very angry on someone, you are yelling or doing something, and then during that period, during that time when you are angry, you are taking some important decision. If you're going to do that, it will end up like very bad, in a kind of a misery. So what I can advise you is that do not take any important decision while you are angry. Okay, because it may possible that you take some decision while you are angry, and it will turn out to be as a nightmare. So you need to be very careful regarding that as well. If you are a Taurus ascendant and during this transit of Mars you are traveling to some long distance place or even to a foreign country, so even though you are traveling, even though, I would like to advise you to be extra careful. Okay, even in traveling you need to be extra careful to all those things which I discussed you till now, because even during traveling these things could possible. So be careful regarding that as well. So if you are a student and you are a Taurus ascendant, so try to avoid any kind of conflict with other student. Just try to focus on your study, and please try to avoid as much as you can conflicts with any student or any of your friends or enemy. Okay, this that is going to be beneficial for you. So this is all about the um, Taurus ascendant. If you want personal consultation, links are given in the description. And now let's talk about Gemini ascendant. If you are a Gemini ascendant, so Mars is the ruler of your 6th house as well as the 11th house, because you have a Scorpio sign fall in your 6th house for the Gemini ascendant, and Aries sign fall in your 11th house if you are a Gemini ascendant. And Mars is going to transit in your 1st house, in your ascendant, if you are a Gemini ascendant. And by sitting in your 1st house, it is going to aspect your 4th house by its 4th aspect. Then it is going to aspect your 7th house by its 7th aspect. Then it is going to aspect your 8th house by its 8th aspect. So now what will going to happen for the Gemini ascendant when Mars, by sitting in your ascendant, is going to aspect your 4th, 7th and 8th houses respectively. First of all, I would like to add something, that if you are a Gemini ascendant and Mars, the planet of energy, the planet of confidence, courage, and all that kind of energy will come in your ascendant. So definitely during this transit, you will have energy to do something, to go there somewhere, to achieve something. So you will experience that kind of energy, that vibe, when we have some vibe that, oh, I will just conquer this world. So that kind of energy you will definitely experience due to this transit of Mars in your ascendant. Also, you will experience one thing, that if you are a Gemini ascendant and you want to say something to someone, so what will going to happen suddenly is that when Mars is going to transit in your ascendant, you will naturally feel that now you are able to speak something easily, and you will definitely speak with courage, as if like people will see like, oh my god, what happened to this guy, he's like, fully like courageous and is speaking like, with full of energy. So that kind of a thing could also seen if you are a Gemini ascendant. One more thing I would like to add, overconfidence and over courage and over speaking is always bad for the health. Okay, so that is also true for you Geminis. If you are a Gemini ascendant, try to avoid anything over. Okay, you need to draw a line between how much is good and how much is over. Whenever there is over, just stop it. Okay, otherwise you will be in trouble. Also, if you are a Gemini ascendant, 6th and 11th lord, okay, is going to sitting in your first house, and it is going to aspect your 8th house with its 8th aspect. So definitely you need to be very 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 careful regarding your health, and especially if you uh, like drive any vehicle, you need to be extra careful. Do not please do not do over speeding or anything like that, especially next in the next 52 days till the transit of Mars is going to be there in your ascendant. You need to be extra careful, okay, while driving any vehicle. At the same time, if you are lifting weight, doing exercises, so be careful how you are doing it. Okay, especially when Saturn is looking, sorry, especially when Mars is looking at your 8th house by its 8th aspect. So you need to be careful, and please understand when I say careful, so be careful regarding driving, regarding doing exercises, regarding doing weightlifting, regarding doing anything. Okay, so yeah. For Gemini ascendant, for some Gemini ascendant, you guys, it may also possible that there could be change in your living place. Maybe you get a new home, maybe you buy a new home, maybe you shift to a new home. Okay, maybe there could be transfer in your job for some Gemini ascendant, or maybe you could travel somewhere due to your profession. That could also possible. One thing I would like to advise, if you are a Gemini ascendant, Mars is not a very friendly planet for you. Okay, and it is going to sit in your first house, so it may give you excess of energy, due to which sometime it may possible that you may invite conflict, or even I would like to correct myself, you would invite unnecessary conflict, even with your family members, even with your friends and anyone. You would just convert a good relationship into a nightmare, into a bad relationship. Okay, so you need to be careful regarding that. If let's say you are a Gemini ascendant and moon is also sitting in your first house, and now this transit of Mars is also happening uh, in your Gemini sign. So now what will going to happen is that in this case it may possible that it could create disturbance in your mind as well. Okay, it might give you mental health issues as well. Okay, so be careful. Okay, try to do meditation. Try to if you can do, try to listen Hanuman Chalisa, try to listen Hanuman Kavach, try to go and put milk on the shivling. Okay, doing these things will definitely help. So this is all about Gemini ascendant. If you want personal consultation, links are given in the description. And now let's talk about the Cancer ascendant. So if you are a Cancer ascendant, so Mars is the ruler of your 5th house as well as your 10th house. Okay, because in the 5th house you have the sign of Scorpio, and in the 10th house you have the sign of Aries. So what will going to happen is that Mars transit in the sign of Gemini is going to fall in your 12th house, and by sitting into the 12th house, Mars will aspect the 3rd house by its 4th aspect, Mars will aspect the 6th house for you by its 7th aspect, and Mars will also aspect your 7th house by its 8th aspect. So for Cancer ascendant people, Mars is a favorable good planet, because Mars is the ruler of your Kendra house and Trikon house. Okay, since Mars is the ruler of your 10th house, which is the Kendra house, and the one Trikon house, which is the 5th house. So it is a favorable planet for you guys if you are a Cancer ascendant. But if you can see Mars in this transit, although it's a favorable planet for you guys, but it is going to transit into the 12th house. And in this place, Mars might not feel very comfortable, to be honest with you. So how you can see is that the lord of 5th house is going into the 12th house, and the 10th the house lord also. So it might give you trouble regarding these houses. Like for an example, if you have kids, so it might give you some trouble regarding kids. Okay, any trouble regarding kids could be possible. Unnecessary tension, or even the necessary tension, like your kid do something, kid fall ill or something like that. Some kind of a tensions regarding kids could be possible for the Cancer ascendant. Now it may possible that your kids may become notorious, or they may do some kind of activities which might give you unnecessary tensions and problems, or even to some extent their health also. So that could also possible. Maybe you have to spend money due to your kids somewhere, that could possible. Let's say for an example, your kid have done something wrong, due to which you have to do settlement of that, and you have to give money to the other people. Let's say your kid fall ill, due to which you have to visit the hospital or doctor, and you have to pay money over there. So any of these things could be possible due to this transit of Mars in the 12th house in the sign of Gemini for you, the Cancer ascendant people. Your 10th lord is also Mars, and it is going into the 12th house. So definitely you may feel some kind of problem, in your workplace, in your profession. So that could also possible. It may possible that it could give you conflicts with your authorities in your profession. It could give you problem with your bosses, with your superiors. It could possible that you might not able to achieve your target. Let's say you have this thing that I will achieve this target and I will get this bonus, this incentive, but unfortunately you are not able to achieve that. So that there might be frustration, tension, that could be possible with this transit. Now it may possible that by sitting into the 12th house, this transit of Mars in the sign of Gemini, by going into the 12th house, which is looking at your 6th and the 7th houses by its 7th and 8th aspect respectively, it might also possible that it could create unnecessary or some kind of mental trouble. I might not call it unnecessary. I don't know why everything is coming out today from my mouth as unnecessary. Actually, it's not unnecessary tension. It's a necessary tension, because tension can be due to any of the 5th or 10th house related matters, due to which you might feel mentally very problematic in this situation. Okay, because of this Mars. So maybe this Mars create trouble. Maybe this Mars create trouble in mind, in your mental health, due to which you might not able to sleep at night. Okay, so that could also possible, that let's say you have some trouble and you are not able to sleep at night. So lack of sleep could be seen with this transit. One more thing I would like to add: if you're a Cancer ascendant and you have any of the things related to, like for an example, blood related problem, or let's say you have blood pressure regarding problem, okay, so there could be increment in that problem. Okay, so especially people who had gone through blood pressure related problem, now with this transit of Mars you need to be extra careful regarding your blood pressure and all that health issues. The good news is that if let's say you have any work regarding the foreign lands, or let's say you have some kind of a thing in your mind that now I will going to start this tie up with some foreign company, you want to go into some foreign country in some work in some foreign company. Okay, and if you want to start some business, or you are working in some business with some foreign country or foreign related thing in so in that kind of a scenario, it could give benefits to you guys as well. Okay, so anything which is related to foreign related, if you have kind of any kind of a thing which is related to foreign, then it is going to give good in your career, good results. So let's say one remedy is, even I can suggest here, is that if we try to align, is that let's say you are facing problem with this transit, and if so, what you can do is that if you can get clients, or if you can connect your work regarding the foreign countries, okay, then it is going to give you beneficial results. Okay, that's what I can also say over here. One more thing I would like to advise is that with all these transit of Mars and the places especially it's going to aspect, First thing I would like to advise is that take care of your spouse health as well, your partner health. Second thing is that try to avoid going to any place where there is a lot of argument going on, fight, dispute. Try to avoid any of such places. And you should go to some places. Let's say you start doing yoga, you start doing meditation. Join such places where you can relax your mind, because now for the next 52 days this transit of Mars is going to create a lot of mental tension for you. So if you join such places, at least you will get maybe half an hour or 1 hour at such place where you could have some exercise of your brain, some relax for your brain. And now in this transit, relax of your brain should be required. Okay, so that's what my advice is. So the people who will like few remedies are also I can advise here, is that if you are a Cancer ascendant, first is of course reciting Hanuman Chalisa every single day. Doing Hanuman Kavach is going to be very very beneficial. It's going to give you brilliant result, and you will feel extremely relief. I'm telling you, even listening to the Hanuman Kavach and Hanuman Chalisa is going to be amazing for you guys. Another thing is that what you can do is that doing some kind of charity also, because 12th house also represent that. So if you do some kind of charity, help to the people, that could also possible, that you will get benefit, right? And even I would say to some extent blood donation is also a charity. Okay, so if someone need that, you can do that also, so that will also be beneficial for you. So this is all about the Cancer ascendant. If you want personal consultation, links are given in the description. And now let's talk about the Leo ascendant. Now if you are a Leo ascendant, so this Mars first of all is the ruler of your 4th house as well as the 9th house, and Mars is sitting in your 11th house, because the sign of Gemini fall in your 11th house. So Mars will sit in your 11th house in this transit, and by sitting into your 11th house, by its 4th aspect it is going to aspect your 2nd house. By its 7th aspect it is going to aspect your 5th house. By its 8th aspect it is going to aspect your 6th house. Okay, so this is the theme of Mars. First of all, if you are a Leo ascendant, okay, so first of all, Mars is a very favorable planet for Leo ascendant. Why? Because it is the ruler of one Kendra houses, which is the 4th house, and one Trikon houses, which is the 9th house. So it is the ruler of Kendra Trikon houses. So it is a very favorable planet for the Leo ascendant. This is the first thing you should understand. So it is a Yoga Karaka planet for you guys if you are a Leo ascendant. Now Mars placement generally in the 11th house is considered to be very good. Okay, auspicious kind of a placement, very good placement, and it is transiting in your 11th house. Okay, if you are a Leo ascendant. So first thing we notice is that Mars, which is the ruler of your 4th house as well as the 9th house, is sitting in your 11th house of income and looking at your 2nd house of your savings and asset by its 4th aspect. So definitely it is going to be a very favorable situation for the Leo ascendant in terms of money. Okay, financial gain wise, it's a very favorable position for you guys. This transit is very favorable, I can say. So this Mars is most likely try to give you what I can say, increment in your income in any way. Any means any way. Okay, so whether you will get some promotion, some increment, maybe your business get improve. If you are in service industry, you will get more clients. If you do some kind of business, your business will grow. Okay, so anyway, your income wise, it's going to be a favorable position. To some people, even you may see that you might get some kind of benefits or some gifts from your spouse family, right? So that could also possible with this transit. Even to some people, you will get benefit from your friends through your network circle. Okay, that could be possible. Let's say for an example, you go to some some event, okay, where there is a lot of professional people, and you meet someone and they really like you, and this transit of Mars is happening. So what will going to happen is, let's say for an example, they meet your superiors and then they recommend you that this guy is a very nice person, I think you should do increment for this guy, or you should do promotion of this guy. So you will get promotion due to those network circles. That could also possible with this transit of Mars in the 11th house for you. What I am trying to say is that no matter in which ecosystem you are, whatever you do, whatever your profession is, irrespective of that, you will definitely get favorable result in terms of money, okay, with this transit of Mars. At least I can say as per the transit. Okay, now of course full horoscope consultation is required to see the big pictures, but still these things can be seen. Now it may also possible that if let's say you are a student, then it is going to be a very favorable time for you. You might get some kind of good news, or I can say good result for that if you're a student. Also, let's say it may also possible that since it's a good time for income, maybe let's say you have done some kind of investment, you know, so maybe suddenly you get some benefit of that investment. Let's say someone has already purchased some lottery, maybe they win lottery. I'm just giving example, okay? Let's say someone have invested a long time ago in some stocks. So due to this transit of Mars, maybe suddenly that stock goes up. So that could be possible with this transit of Mars. So it may also possible that let's say, because see, Mars is also aspecting at your 6th house, so maybe if you have any debts, any no loans, you are able to pay them back. Maybe if let's say you fight some competition, or you are just doing some giving some competitive exam, maybe you are going to crack them, maybe you are going to win over your competition. That could also possible with this transit of Mars in your 11th house for the Leo ascendant. Generally this is a very favorable transit if you are a Leo ascendant, but for some Leo ascendant it may possible that you may travel away from your homeland, or I can say away from your family somewhere. So you might stay away for some time away from your family. That could also possible. So generally this is a good transit if you are a Leo ascendant. Okay, so if you want personal consultation, links are given in the description. And now let's talk about the Virgo ascendant. Let's talk about the Virgo ascendant. So if you are a Virgo ascendant, so Mars is the ruler of your 3rd house as well as your 8th house. Okay, so by becoming the ruler of your 3rd as well as the 8th house, Mars is sitting in your 10th house in this transit. Okay, because the sign of Gemini fall in your 10th house. By sitting in your 10th house, Mars is aspecting the your ascendant by its 4th aspect. Mars is aspecting your 10th house by its 7th aspect. Mars is aspecting your 5th house by its 8th aspect. Okay, so this is the, what I can say, the aspect of Mars in your case. Okay, see, one thing I would like to clear very well, that if you are a Virgo ascendant, so Mars is a very malefic planet for a Virgo ascendant. It is not a very good planet for you, since it is the ruler of your 3rd as well as the 8th house. Okay, 3rd is even the higher form of 8th, because it's 8th from the 8th by using the Bhavat Bhavam concept. So it is not a very favorable planet for you. But the good thing is that at least Mars is sitting in the 10th house. And if you know the concept of Digbala, directional strength, so Mars get directional strength in the 10th house. Okay, so which is at least some positive thing out of all the negative. So if you are a Virgo ascendant, at least because Mars is getting Digbala, directional strength in the 10th house, so at least, and you know, is the house of your profession, your work, your karma. So kind of in terms of work, it's a good thing. You might experience something favorable from the Mars. No matter what you do, no matter even if you do business, job, providing services, teacher, or whatever you are, okay, doing independent thing, self-employed, whatever you do, uh, there is some kind of benefic thing you might experience due to this Mars transit in your 10th house. Let's say in your birth chart, Mars is not well placed. Mars is fallen, or it doesn't have a good placement. Then it may possible that it might create some kind of frustration, unnecessary trouble, at your workplace. That is why I always say that the full horoscope consultation is required to see the big picture, because we also need to see how is Mars in your birth chart. Okay, but generally we can say that even if, like, even though Mars is not a very good planet for you, but still it could give you some good results, because it is getting directional strength in the 10th house. But let's say if it's already fallen in your 10th, in your lagna, or in your kundli, then it might create trouble as well in your workplace especially. Now Mars is aspecting on your first house by fourth aspect, so it could give you definitely courage, you know, and ambition, and full of energy it will make you. Okay, but again, since it's not a very good planet for you, so try to avoid overconfidence, try to avoid over, like for an example, you are doing fun with someone and you are full of energy, but during doing fun with someone you say some negative harsh word to someone, due to which you attract conflict. So try to avoid any of such situation. Okay, anything over is going to be bad. That's what you need to be take care of. Also try to avoid showing anger or misbehaving at your workplace. If you do that, you might attract a lot of problems. So try to avoid any kind of argument, unnecessary saying bad words to someone at your workplace. Okay, now you can clearly see that Mars, being the ruler of your sixth and the, sorry, third and the eighth house, is sitting into your 10th house, and it's aspecting your fourth house by its seventh aspect. So by doing this kind of stuff, it may possible, okay, it may possible that with this placement, Mars could create trouble in your home. Okay, trouble in your peace of mind. Mars could even create trouble in the health of your mother. So you need to be take care of your mother health. Okay, with this transit of Mars. However, after 22nd April, um, Jupiter will move, but till 22nd April, Jupiter, which is your fourth lord, is sitting in its fourth house. So in the transit, Jupiter is very strong right now. So even though Mars will aspect that fourth house, but Jupiter will take care of that. But still, there is going to be some chances of little bit of trouble of mother health, or your peace. Okay, so yeah, so you need to be careful of that, but I think it's not going to be a major worry, at least till 22nd of May. So yeah, but still, if you can take care of your mother health, maybe she also like it when you just take care of her, visit her, call her. Okay, so yeah. Now for you guys who are investor, who invest your money in stock market, especially speculation, gambling, or any kind of investment where you put a lot of money to get easy gains, to get quick money making related scheme, that can be any kind, any means any. So if you trying to invest money stock market, or in any kind of a speculative related field, then in this transit of Mars till next 52 days, you need to be extra careful. Do not put all of your eggs in one basket. Do not put major chunk of your money in something, because you are most likely to lose it. Or you, like, why I'm saying that, because Mars, it may possible with the ruler of your third and eighth, it sitting in the 10th and aspecting the fifth, it might increase your tendency, your capacity to over invest, or it give you overconfidence to invest money, and then if something happen, maybe you lose also. Okay, so you need to be careful regarding that. So if you are a Libra ascendant, then what will going to happen is that for Libra ascendant, Mars will going to transit in your ninth house. Since for Libra ascendant, Gemini sign fall in your ninth house, so Mars transit will be there in your ninth house. Okay, so for the Libra ascendant people, this transit of Mars, which is happening in your ninth house, uh, it's like, basically by its fourth aspect. First of all, Mars is going to aspect at your 12th house. Then by its seventh aspect, Mars will going to aspect your third house. Then by its eighth aspect, Mars will going to aspect your fourth house. So this is the kind of a scenario you are going to have. Okay. If you study advanced astrology, so second and seventh are kind of a mark houses also. Okay, like in a way they are also not a very good, like to some extent they also give negative results. Okay, they are markas also, and Mars is the ruler of your these second and seventh houses. Okay, so according to that, it might not be a very favorable planet for you. But here's the thing for you is that from the last 6 months around, the transit of Mars was happening in the sign of Taurus, which was in your 8th house. So since from the last 6 months Mars was transiting in your 8th house, so it might not be very good for you. Okay, so like as you know, the like a planet which is a kind of a malefic for you, like for your ascendant, was transiting in your 8th house, so it was not a very good time. It could give a lot of troubles. But now the good thing is finally this Mars is moving into the sign of Gemini, so it is finally at least coming out of the 8th house. Okay, so see this in this way. If let's say you have some disease, okay, and from the last 6 months, and now we are seeing that there might be not a very good thing in life, but at least that disease is curing now. You are feeling better. So we can also call that a improvement. So in that way, Mars coming into a ninth house is an improvement at least for you. Okay, since it is coming out of the eighth house. So that is a good thing for the Libra ascendant. So although Mars might not be a very good planet for you, Libra ascendant, but still you might see a very good relief in all the things, all the problems that you are facing till now, from especially around last 6 months. So you will definitely see some kind of a relief now. Now since this Mars is transiting in your ninth house, so maybe you could do spiritual related travels like pilgrimages. Okay, you might go for long distance travel due to some reasons. Okay, reason can be anything in this case. And for some people, some of you Libra ascendant, you might even go to some foreign country, or I can say some long distance place. Okay, for your higher education, for your studies, you might even go to some abroad university. So that kind of a yogas are also forming if you are a Libra ascendant. Let's say you were thinking to go on some pilgrimage or on some long distance traveling, anywhere to travel due to any reason. So finally the good news is that your time is coming to travel abroad, to travel to long distance places. Okay, to travel wherever you want to. This is the time for you to start that. One thing I would like to advise, since ninth house is also the house of getting consultations and advices also. So, and Mars is like a malefic, or kind of a, you can say, the ruler of kind of a marka houses for you. So this is not a good planet for you. So by sitting in the ninth house of advices, you might get wrong advices. Some people you meet somehow, some other, maybe some young people, men or male like figure, they will give you, maybe like anyone even could give you wrong advices. Okay, so you might get wrong advice also in this period. That could also possible. So what my suggestion is that in such cases, when you take advice from one person, at least go for 2-3 people for advices. Okay, and since you are a Libra ascendant, maybe even take advice from some females also, right? So let's say for an example, you are due to some legal documents related things, you are going to visit a lawyer. So my advice is to visit 3-4 lawyers at least. Okay, of different age group and different gender, like male, female and other like. So in that way, what is going to do is that it's going to help you out. also finally take the decision by using your own intelligence also. Okay, what I mean by that is that, let's say someone has given you some advice regarding anything, so try to filter that as advice, do research about it, and then use your own intelligence and then act on it. No, you like, you should not have to behave like, oh, that person had told me to do this and so let's do it. No, you have to check that out, you have to research about it, you have to use your own brain. Okay, that's what I would like to advise you over here. Now, it may possible that like the other person is giving you advice with like good intention. I'm not saying that the your friend or anyone whom you are taking advice, they are giving you wrong intention. No, their intention might be good towards you, but since this planet is forming such situation, so even though they give you good advice, but what will going to happen is that even they are giving good advice by right intention, but even with this like placement or this transit of Mars, that will end up as a bad advice for you. So that's what I am just trying to say over here for you, Libra ascendant. One thing I would like to advise you, there could be some uh, unnecessary argument or fighting kind of a thing with your spouse, uh, family, or I can say spouse, brother especially. So you need to be really careful regarding that. Try to avoid any kind of argument, fight, dispute with your spouse, brothers. Okay, so yeah. Also, again, since for you it's not a good planet, again, taking Lord Hanuman's blessing, reciting maybe Hanuman Chalisa and Hanuman Kavach is going to be very beneficial. Even to some extent, I would say, you know, taking giving food to the monkeys is also going to be beneficial. Then taking blessings of your father is going to be beneficial, or someone like a father like figure, touching their feet, taking blessing from them. If you visit temple, maybe you find some priests, etc., take blessing from them. Okay, especially if you like, if you have fathers, so just call them, try to visit them, try to spend some time with them. That is going to be beneficial. Also, if you feel very pressure due to this Mars or any kind of frustration, then joining any kind of yoga class or maybe meditation related things, okay, that will going to give you very relaxed kind of a thing. Okay, because mentally you will feel very relaxed with that. So this is all about for the Libra ascendant. If you want personal consultation, links are given in the description. And now let's talk about, you are a Scorpio ascendant, so Mars is the ruler of your first house as well as your sixth house. Okay, and Mars is falling in your eighth house right now. Okay, or I can say Mars is sitting in your eighth house, not falling actually, sorry, I have to correct myself. So Mars is sitting in the eighth house in the sign of Gemini during this transit for you guys. So what will going to happen, let me tell you. Mars is sitting in the eighth house. Okay, and by sitting in the eighth house, by its fourth aspect, it is going to aspect your 11th house. Then by its seventh aspect, it is going to aspect your second house. Then by its eighth aspect, it is going to aspect your third house. So these are the houses Mars will going to aspect. So what will going to happen with this? So see, this is the kind of a overall theme you will have with this transit. So let's see that now. Now, first thing you should understand, if you are a Scorpio ascendant, Mars is the ruler of your first house. Okay, and Mars being the ruler of your first house is going to transit in your eighth house. Okay, and which is not a very good house. And also the transit of Mars in the eighth house, you need to be careful. And for you, you need to be extra careful since you are a Scorpio ascendant and Mars is your Lagna Lord. Because the transit of Lagna Lord in the eighth house, whenever this happen to any ascendant, the first thing come in our mind is that it is going to give you definitely health issues. Okay, so yeah, Mars is the ruler of your first house and is going into the eighth house, but Mars is also the ruler of your sixth house and it is going into the eighth house. So you see it in this way that the ruler of first and the sixth house is going to sit in the 8th house. So what is going to happen? I would like to advise you to be extra careful, okay, because this is definitely indicating that you might face some kind of health issues. So you need to be very very careful regarding the health issues. At the same time, try to avoid any kind of conflict, argument, you know, and like, because anything could be possible in this time period: conflicts, argument, this problem, that problem. So you need to be really really careful regarding this, okay. So what I want to say is that do not um do not enter into unnecessary argument with anyone, okay. Avoid arguments as much as you can, especially with this period, okay. And even to some extent, when Mars transit to 8th house, you need to be careful while you are riding anything, like you're just like riding any vehicle, so you need to be careful. And then good thing is that Mars, ruler of your first house, is sitting into 8th house and looking at the 11th house as well as the second house by its fourth and the seventh aspect respectively. So what is going to tell is that definitely there are chances that you are going to have some kind of uh, sudden gains, sudden benefit, okay. That can be expected here. Suddenly you might get benefit from somewhere, that could be seen. It may possible that suddenly from somewhere you get money which you are not expecting. That can be any kind. Sudden gain can be of any kind. Some people win lottery, some people may get I don't know, like maybe you invested some money from somewhere, you get it. Maybe many time ago you have claimed some insurance and now you get it. So any kind of sudden wealth. Some people literally can find something somewhere buried, okay. So that could be possible. Even to some extent, to some people it may possible that you could even able to find out some information that might amaze you. You are like, oh my god, wow, this is amazing. So that kind of information you will get it. Let's say for an example, you somehow came across an astrology book and you start to study that in this transit, and you see about, like, you apply those principle on your chart, and then you came to see, oh my god, this is so amazing, this is true, like this is freaking amazing, like this information is brilliant because it is applying on my chart, and then it might amaze you. So that kind of a situation could also possible with this transit. From this, there could be some kind of a changes you could do during this transit in your maybe spouse finances, in your investments, in your own finances, insurance related kind of thing, maybe something to do with pensions, bank account, like any kind of planning regarding these things, okay. Maybe developing relationship with other people for like increasing your network circle. So changes in such kind of a thing could be possible for you guys if you are a Scorpio ascendant. So this is all about the Scorpio ascendant. Now let's talk about the Sagittarius ascendant. So if you are a Sagittarius ascendant, what will going to happen is that, first of all, for Sagittarius ascendant, Mars is the ruler of your 5th house as well as the 12th house, okay. And since this is the ruler of your 5th and 12th house, and now in the transit Mars is transiting, since Mars is transiting in the sign of Gemini, so it is going to sit in your 7th house for the Virgo ascendant. So by sitting into the 7th house for Virgo ascendant, it is going to aspect your 10th house by its 4th aspect. It is going to aspect your 1st house, your ascendant, aka ascendant, by its 7th aspect. And it is also going to aspect your 2nd house by its 8th aspect. So this is the kind of a scenario you will see. Like Mars is the, first of all, you will get kind of a, I would say, something positive, something negative, both kind of a result with this, okay. So if, like, you can see that for Sagittarius ascendant, Mars is the ruler of your 5th house, which is the good one, like it's the ruler of your trikona houses. But at the same time, Mars is also the ruler of your 12th house, and it is sitting into the 7th house, which is like a marka house also if you study astrology deeply, okay. So Mars sitting here, so in a way it could give good result as well as the bad result also, okay. So now let's see that what could be possible. And one more thing is that the good thing is that Mars is the friendly planet for your ascendant Lord Jupiter, okay. So in that way it's really a good thing. Definitely this Mars, because it's also the ruler of 12th house, by sitting into the 7th house, it is going to aspect your ascendant by its 7th aspect. So it could make you feel frustrated, agitated, okay, agitated, frustrated, unnecessary kind of a, frustration could be possible. Maybe some of your friend or anyone, other people's tension you take, and that might give you unnecessary worry, tension, frustration. So that could possible with this transit. You need to be careful regarding your spouse health during this Mars transit. Make sure to pay attention if she or he, your spouse, whoever your spouse is, if they are feeling not feeling well, then you need to take care of them. Okay, it could create some trouble to your spouse health. Okay, so you need to be careful regarding that. It might also possible that Mars, by sitting here, since the ruler of 12th and 5th, so it could create a situation that you might feel like, oh, why, like I'm not getting the support. Why this person who is supporting me till now, helping me in everything, why now he's not uh, answering me properly? Why I'm not getting the support of the people? So that kind of a situation could also possible due to this Mars. Now, since Mars is aspecting the 10th house by its 4th aspect, so definitely it could create some kind of tensions or little bit of troubles at your workplace, some kind of frustration at the workplace, maybe with the authority, maybe with the superior, maybe with the people at workplace. So that could be possible, or some kind of a frustration at workplace could be seen with this transit. For some people, if you are single, maybe you will start to look towards marriage, or you would think about marriage, or you would take, or literally some people could take some important decision regarding marriage also with this Mars transit. So that could also possible. Or maybe you could decide some kind of direction towards your married life. Okay, like I am going to marry this person or that, so that could also possible. So take the decision wisely, that's what I would like to say. Now, for some Sagittarius ascendant people, it may also possible that you guys will travel. Okay, for some Sagittarius ascendant people, travel related yogas are also forming. Okay, now one thing I would like to add again, that since Mars is sitting in the 7th, it is the 12th lord. Okay, so and it is also aspecting your second house again, which is 8th from the 7th. So if you are married, so regarding your spouse health, you need to be careful. Okay, take proper care of them. Okay, so yeah, also it may possible, although that you and your partner or you can travel to some long distance places, or maybe foreign country, that could also possible to some extent. um so yeah, this is all about the, yeah, one more thing I would like to add is that if you are planning to do some kind of transformation or change in your workplace, change in your job profession, so at least in this transit of Mars, I think you should avoid that, or you should need to be really careful regarding when you do that. Okay, that's what I would like to say. So yeah, this is all about Sagittarius ascendant. Now let's talk about Capricorn. Now, if you are a Capricorn ascendant, okay, so the Mars is the ruler of your 4th house, which is your Kendra house, and then Mars is also your ruler of your 11th house, which is a Upachya house. Okay, so Mars is the ruler of your 4th and the 11th house, and right now Mars is transiting in your 6th house in the sign of Gemini. Okay, with this transit, and by sitting here, Mars is going to aspect the 9th house by its 4th aspect, and Mars is going to aspect your 12th house by its 7th aspect, and then Mars is also going to aspect your ascendant, aka Lagna, by its 8th aspect. Okay, so this is the kind of a theme, a map you have for your, like if you are a Capricorn ascendant. So let's see now what will going to happen if you are a Capricorn ascendant with this transit. Look this carefully. uh, Mars is not a friendly planet to Saturn. Your ascendant ruler is Saturn, and Saturn and Mars are not friendly. Okay, but here's the thing: if you understand this thing, that even though Mars is not a friendly planet with the Saturn, but Mars get exalted in the sign of Capricorn. Are you getting my point? Which means that in your ascendant, Mars get exalted. This is the first thing. Second thing is that the Mars is sitting in one of his favorite places, one of his favorite houses, which is the sixth house for the Capricorn ascendant people. Okay, because sixth house represent what? It's competition, fighting, and all that kind of stuff. So by sitting here, the good thing for you is that Mars is going to definitely end some kind of conflicts, problems, or even diseases, and all these kind of things which you have till now. You will definitely going to see some kind of improvement in that. Now that can be anything, maybe some legal matters, some uh, health related matters, or any kind of dispute or any kind of matter related to sixth house. It is going to end now with this Mars transit. Even to some extent, if you see what other things sixth house represent, like competition, loans, all these kind of stuff. So this Mars is going to help you in winning the competition or any kind of competition. If you have, you know, it might make you a competitive person also for this, like during this transit. So you are going to get help from the Mars in these matters. Old problem will going to end. Okay, that is the good thing. Although of course you can't ignore the fact that Mars sitting in the sixth house will definitely create some problems as well. Okay, but it will going to cure some problem as well, but create some problem as well. Thing is that even though some problem could be created, but Mars sitting in the sixth house will definitely give you courage and confidence, and that parakram, that courage, that you are going to fight and face those problem and come out of them. That is really a good thing here. May possible that you might feel now suddenly like you feel like I should start doing exercises, I should start running, I should start taking care of my health. So maybe you start to do some kind of exercises, anything, maybe martial art, maybe joining gym, maybe joining yoga, or any related like thing which is related to exercise. You start to do that. Mars is also aspecting by its fourth aspect on your ninth house. So maybe you suddenly start to think that I should need to get some advices from the people. Maybe you get good advices from the people during that this time. Okay, since ninth house also represent consultation and advice. So this is also a good time to take consultation. Okay. So yeah, you might get good advice during this period. So that is also seen with this transit of Mars. Mars is aspecting both ninth as well as the 12th house for your sign. So definitely it is talking that maybe it is saying that maybe you go to some foreign country, foreign travel, traveling to long distance places. Okay, that can be any kind of travel. Okay, so uh, traveling to the foreign country, long distance places, travel related yogas are also forming over here. Okay, so if you want to travel, if you are planning to travel till now and you are not able to, so now is the time for you to travel. Okay, so if you want to travel, if you are planning to travel till now and you are not able to, so now is the time for you to travel. Okay, Mars by its eighth aspect is also aspecting the Lagna, aka your first house or ascendant. So definitely there could be increase in your confidence, your courage, your, like you will suddenly start to feel like hey, like for an example, right now you have the nature, oh I have to travel to foreign country, or like oh my god, I don't have the confidence, there's a lot of problem, this and that. But suddenly with this transit you are like, come on man, let's do it, I can do it. Like that kind of a courage could come inside you literally with this Mars. Okay, so that could be possible. Even I would like to give you an advice also that like doing an exercise is, if you think that oh I will not do exercise with this transit even, so one good thing is that to utilize this Mars in a positive way, you should start doing exercises regularly. Okay, because then only you will able to get good result of this Mars, because naturally that will be a remedy, right? So yeah, guys, this is all about the Capricorn ascendant. Okay, if you want personal consultation, links are given in the description. And now let's talk about the Aquarius ascendant. So if you are born as an Aquarius ascendant, so for you guys, Mars is going to transit in your ninth house. Okay, and Mars is the ruler of your third house as well as the 10th house. Okay, so 10th house of career, public image, and also the third house of courage, travel, sales, media, marketing, a lot of other things Mars rule. And it is transiting in your ninth house, oh sorry, in the fifth house in the sign of Gemini. And by sitting over there, it is going to aspect the 8th, 11th and the 12th houses respectively, with their 4th, 11th and 12th aspect. Oh sorry, what I'm saying, Mars by sitting in your 5th house is going to aspect your 8th house by its 4th aspect. Mars is also aspecting your 11th house by its 7th aspect, and Mars is aspecting your 12th house by its 8th aspect. Okay, so now what will going to happen with this transit for you guys? First thing you should understand is that Mars might not be a very good planet for you. Okay, so Mars, the ruler of your 10th house, is like sitting in your 5th house. That is a good thing, because that is the kind of a Kendra Trikon Raj Yoga. Okay, 10th Lord sitting in the 5th house, it's a very good yoga. Okay, if someone has in their chart, it's a good thing. Okay, so like, because it's create a Kendra Trikon Raj Yoga, Lakshmi Narayan, so that's a very good thing. But here's the thing, it is happening in the transit. Okay, so of course full horoscope consultation is required to see your chart and the big picture, but in this transit at least this is happening, so we are talking about that. So that's a good thing for you. Regarding, it might possible that you might start to work on new ideas, or let's say you are doing something in your profession, you get some new idea, so you start working on them, and those ideas is going to give down the line some fruitful results. So that could also possible with like if you are an Aquarius ascendant, you might get some new opportunities also in your career. That can be any kind. Maybe you get, let's say you do a job, you might get better offer from some other company. Okay, or let's say you work on projects, you might get better project, better opportunity. So that could be of any kind. Okay, so in your career you might get something better. Okay, so that could be possible, some new opportunity. Although Mars is sitting in your 5th house, so the planet which sit in the 5th house definitely influence your mind also. So it could create some kind of anger, it could give you hot temperament in this transit. Okay, so if you already have a hot temperament, or even if you don't have, this Mars is going to increase that. Okay, so maybe you could do unnecessary fight, argument with many people. So make sure to understand this and try to avoid that, because this is the best thing about astrology, that you study these things, you watch these videos, you learn about these things, so that you can understand that such kind of a theme could be possible. So I need to be really careful. Okay, that's what I would like to tell you. Now it may also possible that not only this will give you kind of a hot temperament and anger, but this Mars could also give you uh, unnecessary risk taking abilities. And the problem is that during this time period, it may possible that you might not listen to anyone's advice. You are like, what the fuck, man, what are you talking about? Get the fuck out of my way, I would do whatever the hell I wants to. So that could possible. You know, who the hell are you, man, to advise me? I know what I have to do. And what is going to happen, like you will not listen to anyone, and let's say you invest in something and then you face, boom, a loss. Okay, so you need to be really careful. Now I just talk about one thing regarding money, you can apply that in the all aspect of your life. Okay, so listen to advices. If someone is giving advice, listen carefully. If I'm giving you advice right now, listen carefully, that such thing could be possible. So keep that in mind. Okay, so that you are ready to deal with such situations. If you understand that Mars is by sitting in the 5th house, it is aspecting the 8th house by its 4th aspect, and aspecting the 12th house also by its 8th aspect. And 12th house represent losses, and Mars aspect on the 8th house represent kind of a risk taking abilities. Okay, because like, so you invest, or you, like, you could take any kind of risk in this time, and then you could end up uh, in a loss. That could possible. Okay, so be careful. That's what I would like to advise. With your spouse, with your girlfriend, with your love partner, whomever with you have a love affair, there could be some chances of arguments, fight, okay, dispute. There could be possible. So be careful. Okay, because your temperament, or you could be so angry sometime that it could create problem in your relationship also, especially if you have love affairs. So that could, there could be some problem right there, because Mars is there in the fifth house, so you need to be really careful regarding that. And if you have kids, so there could be some fighting kind of a thing, or arguments, problem with the kids could also possible. So deal with them carefully. Do not just talk to them in a very bad way, because Mars is there in the fifth house. So yeah, that is also I would like to advise. It may also possible that suddenly you start to feel that you are becoming more extrovert kind of a personality. You try to like socialize more. So that kind of a changes you may also experience, because Mars, by sitting in the fifth house, is also aspecting the 11th house by its seventh aspect. So that could also possible. For some people who are Aquarius ascendant, there could be starting of love affairs. Okay, so this transit may even give you literally a love affair. Okay, that could also possible, right? And I would say, even I would say, if you want to learn astrology, palmistry, tarot card reading, or any kind of hidden sciences, even to some extent some research related thing, this is going to be a favorable time for you to start doing that. Okay, so yeah. So guys, this is all about Aquarius ascendant. If you want personal consultation, links are given in the description. And now let's talk about the Pisces ascendant. So if you are a Pisces ascendant, so Mars is the ruler of your second house as well as the ninth house. Okay, so ninth and second houses are ruled by Mars, and Mars transit in the sign of Gemini will be there in your fourth house. And by sitting in the fourth house, Mars is going to aspect your seventh house by its fourth aspect, and then Mars is also going to aspect at your I would say 10th house by its seventh aspect, and then Mars is also aspecting your 11th house by its eighth aspect. So what will going to happen with such transit of Mars? Now for Pisces ascendant, Mars is a good planet actually for you, because especially because Mars is the ruler of your ninth house, and ninth house represent our luck, our fortune. And you know, when you are lucky, when your fortune support you, then you can literally make gold from the sand, okay, or gold from the rock. But so that is why luck support is really important in life. So that is why it's really an very important planet for you if you are a Pisces ascendant. So till now Mars was not going to give very good results to you due to some movement of the Mars. Although it was in the third house, transit of Mars in the third house was good, but still due to some reasons it was not able to give you good result. But the point is that now it is finally in the fourth, and its forward movement is definitely talking that you must have to maybe you have to take some important decision, maybe regarding your financial matters. Okay, because Mars is the ruler of your second house, okay, along with the ninth. So maybe regarding your financial matter, you have to take some kind of important decision. That could possible. Maybe this Mars will, because Mars in the fourth house looking at the 10th house definitely talk about financial stability. Like Mars is give you thought like, hey, you have to do this thing so that at least you will have certain amount of money every single month come in your bank account, or you will financially become stable. Because Mars here talk about stable income, because when Mars sit in the fourth house, it is going to aspect the seventh house by its fourth aspect, but it is going to aspect the 10th house by its seventh aspect, and 11th house with its eighth aspect. So by aspecting the 10th and the 11th, Mars talking about that do some kind of work profession by which you could have stable income through 11th. Okay, So maybe you start to work towards that in this transit. That could possible. Also possible that you definitely think about car, some kind of vehicle, some kind of land, home, real estate. Okay, maybe you purchase some of these things. Okay, maybe you start to plan to purchase, or maybe if you are planning, you may now purchase that. Okay, or you take some decision, important decision regarding these things, because a lot of things could be possible. Some people may purchase it, some people may sell it to buy a new one. So different scenarios, but these things, related matters, could be possible. Okay, if you are a Pisces ascendant, some people may literally do some kind of renovation regarding their some land. Let's say you do renovation of your office, renovation of your home, renovation of your room. Some people literally think about changing their office or changing their home. So these things could also possible if you are a Pisces ascendant. If you are a Pisces ascendant, literally to some people, even this Mars can even try to do something regarding your marriage also, because by sitting in the fourth, it is going to aspect the seventh. So it also talk about marriage path or something to do with marriage. Okay, so if you are a single, there could be some opportunity regarding marriage could also possible with this. Profession wise, I think this is going to give benefit result to you. Maybe you will get new opportunities, new let's say you are doing a job and you get uh, suddenly with this transit, one day you get some kind of new opportunity, someone recommend you, maybe through your network circle or somewhere, that this person is good, so they ask you for high paying job in a new company, or any kind of new opportunity. If even if you do your own business, you may get new clients. Okay, so all these things could be possible with this transit of Mars. Even to some people, if you are doing job, let's say you, there could be some literally chances of promotions. There could be chances of transfer to other place, or even both. Let's say you get transferred, but then you also get the promotion and you are happy. Then maybe you also get the increment in your money, in your salary, whatever. So that could also possible. If you already get married, or if you already, sorry, married, then there could be some arguments or problem with your spouse. So be careful regarding that. Try to deal with intelligence. Do not say any bad word to your spouse in like anger, because Mars is also aspecting the seventh house. So if you already married, then it could create some arguments with your spouse as well. So be careful regarding that. Okay, and even seventh house also represent our partners, our business partners. So conflicts with your business partner, you know, problem with them could also possible. So deal with them also with intelligence. Okay, so one good thing is also happening is that during this transit, Mercury is getting debilitated in the sign of Pisces. But there is a Neech Bhang Yoga, Neech Bhang Raj Yoga, even to some extent, I would say. There's Neech Bhang Yoga is forming because Jupiter was also, Jupiter will also be there in the sign of Pisces along with the Mercury. So Neech Bhang is happening of Mercury. Okay, so that is why it may give you good result, because Mars is the ruler of your ninth house. Okay, your fortune lord, and the dispositor of Mars is Mercury, because Mars is sitting in the sign of Gemini. Its ruler is Mercury. Mercury get debilitated, but since it is sitting with the sign of Pisces, which is Jupiter in the sign of Pisces, so it is having a Neech Bhang Raj Yoga. So in that way, overall, you will get the good results, I could say. So guys, this is all about Pisces ascendant. If you want personal consultation, links are given in the description. And yeah, this is all about this transit. And now we will talk to you in next video, my beautiful girls and my handsome boys. Till then, bye bye.